Hey everyone, I'm Elliot.
I'm Phineas.
And we are the Peters Bros. And welcome to our spoiler review of Marvel Studios Black Panther. Don't watch this video if you don't want to get spoiled.
If you don't want to get spoiled, there is a spoiler-free review that we made. It is in the description box of this video, so you can go see our thoughts on the film. So last warning, there are spoilers. If you have seen the film and you're ready to jump right in, let's jump right in.
Both of us absolutely loved this movie. From start to finish, it was brilliant, and it was very, very unique. The thing that I found most fascinating about this movie was how much it differed from previous Marvel films that came before it. And that is incredibly important going forward with the MCU. That each movie has to be super unique.
Yeah. We've talked about this more in our spoiler-free review. Like you said, they need to keep these movies fresh if they're gonna make so many of them. How many are there? Like, almost 20 at this point.
And as the MCU has progressed, we're in the 10th year now of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and as they've kept going, they've just been working harder and harder on the different problems that they face. They've had problems with their antagonists, they've had problems with their color grading, they've had problems with their soundtracks, and in my opinion, this movie is able to knock all three of those things out of the park. It's visually amazing, the antagonist is so incredibly complex, and the soundtrack is super cool. Speaking of the antagonist, though, we touched upon this in our spoiler-free review.
But going into the spoiler realm of his character.
He is definitely one of the best antagonists that Marvel has given us. He, at some points, is even more complex and interesting than the other members of the ensemble. And I think that he was a really great foil to T'Challa. They came from the same place. Both of their parents were related to each other. So it's like, you know, they have this shared past, and so much of their characters are similar, but it's just the different paths and approaches that they take. And ultimately, you know, T'Challa does end up kind of taking Eric's advice and using Wakandan resources to help the world, which I think is really cool.
In the way that he thinks would be best to do it. And, I mean, that's exactly what they were both trying to do. There was this sort of subplot with T'Challa's character having, like, realizing that everyone was wrong to do these things. All of the ancestors who had ruled before him had been making a lot of mistakes, and he kind of feels like he has to repair that. And that's almost the same thing that Eric was doing, just
more brutally.
More brutally, yeah.
And involving more murder. Actually, the movie, don't get me wrong, the movie was interesting from start to finish, but the movie started really getting interesting once T'Challa was presumed dead, when Eric had thrown him over the waterfall, and you know, all of the Wakandan people were forced to choose a side, you know? That's when true character was being brought out, and I thought that that was like a really interesting and not very often done way of forcing characters to make hard choices. These supporting characters are the kinds of characters that I just can't wait to see interacting with other characters in the MCU.
Yes,
you know?
Yeah, that's really important for just every movie that I haven't really thought about until the Infinity War trailer, is that, like, they have to be creating these characters with the idea that not only will they feel like they can fit in the same universe, but they have to have in mind that they can easily write these characters to interact with other people from different movies.
I think it's about time for the science bros to move over and make a little room for the science sister, Shuri, who was like my breakout favorite character from this movie. Okay, but the Soul Stone, is it in the purple flowers? Is it in the heart-shaped herb? Where's the Soul Stone gonna show up? Guys?
A lot of people have been talking about how it was totally going to show up in Thor's hammer, which made a lot of sense since, you know, they broke it open and the whole magical powers of it and the dying star thing. But that theory fell through, it seems.
And then everyone thought that it might be in Heimdall because he can see every soul.
That's possible. We know that Thor had a vision in Age of Ultron where Heimdall's blind. Heimdall has magic eyeball powers where he can see everyone's soul.
And now everyone's saying that it might be in Wakanda in the heart-shaped herb. I have absolutely no idea, and I honestly can't tell what is going to happen in Infinity War. You guys can all speculate all you want. Please comment down below with where you think the Soul Stone is, but I'm just going to have to wait until May. in order to find out. Before we sign off here, Finn, I wanted to bring up something that has been floating around on the internet. Did you realize that the two white guys in this movie are Bilbo Baggins and Gollum?
I did not.
Overall, this movie was amazing, brilliantly written. I loved tons of the dialogue in this movie. It's beautiful. The music was great. The performances are fabulous. And if you liked this movie, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below letting us know your thoughts on Black Panther and if you're excited to see Avengers Infinity War when it comes out this May. And don't forget to tell your enemies that we are awesome.